Welcome back to Bullet Catcher Gaming. This is of course Ghost Recon Breakpoint. This video today is all about weapons, and most importantly the weapons that you guys and girls would like to see added into the game into year 2 and the content that we're going to be receiving in 2021. Hopefully that roadmap's going to be along pretty soon. It's, you know, everyone's sitting there waiting patiently for it, so let's hope it pops up very soon. But what we did is we put 2 videos together very recently. If you haven't seen them, feel free to watch those first or go and watch them after if you wish. And they're all about the weapons that we would like to see in the game. And we asked for your feedback, and you gave us a load of feedback, and we hugely appreciate it. I love reading what you guys have got to say. And so what we've decided to do is we went through those comments very carefully, and we've put together 10 weapons that you guys asked for the most. We are going to go through all of the weapons that were asked for. I hope I haven't missed any. But I can't go into detail into every single weapon, because otherwise you'd be listening to me go on for about 7 hours, and I know you don't want that. Even I don't want that. But so we're going to try and do the best we can, and this feedback's going to be passed on over to Ubisoft. That's a guarantee. So before we kind of get into it though, I would like to say once again, thank you so much for the feedback that you've been providing. Thank you so much for the videos that you've been watching, all of the new subscribers, the people that have jumped into our Discord. Honestly, I massively appreciate it. Thank you so much. Honestly, the support you've been showing is just fantastic. And it really does prove as well, with a lot of the feedback that we've got, that this game is not dead. And there is a community that love this game and care about this game and are passionate about this game, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So well done you guys and girls, massively appreciate it, as we say. So let's get on with it then. We're going to go into the first one, and one of the first guns that you guys have asked for is the R5 RGP. Now you might think sounds familiar. If you're not really into your guns, it's because it was in Wildlands. So the Remington, obviously R5 was popular. It was a popular gun in Wildlands as well. I know a lot of people used it. I used it sometimes. It was a good one. You want to see it return, and I completely get that. It's a really good choice. It's a gas piston operating AR-15 kind of style of rifle. I believe it was produced in 2010 onwards by Remington Arms. It's a 5.56, and it has 2 main barrels. You can either get the 10.5 or the 14.5. Now, there's loads of guns that we'd like to see in Wildlands. You know, I could go on for ages about the stuff that we need from Wildlands in Breakpoint. But you know, let's stick to the weapons at the moment. You guys want this one. They're in no particular order, by the way. They're just the 10 that you wanted the most. So on to the next one. It is the MK13, Mark 13, whatever. I know people always call me out on saying it's not Mark, it's MK, whatever, or the other way around. But whatever you want to say it. Now, this was asked for a hell of a lot on the comments. It really was. The MK13 Mod 5, specifically, sniper rifle. So it's built using the chassis system designed by Accuracy International in England. And it was added the Remington long action receiver 700, and with that you get the MK13. It's been in service from 2001, and it has 2 mods, either the Mod 5 or the Mod 7, and it is a bolt action firing. It fires the 300 Winchester Magnum. Now this is a beauty. Can totally understand why we want this in the game. I think we are still lacking in sniper rifles. It'd be nice to see some new ones in there, and the Mod 5 is a really tasty weapon. So yeah, totally agree with you on that one. We definitely want that one. Now this next one I really love, so good choice by all of you out there on this one, and it is the Heckler & Koch 433. It's a modular assault rifle made by Heckler & Koch, chamber in the 5.56, and it combines the features of the G36 and the HK416 families of assault rifles kind of together in one. It's been in service only since 2017, and this specific ASR can actually be equipped with 6 different barrel lengths too. And like I said, this was hugely popular in the comments. It's a gorgeous looking weapon, and 100%, yeah, put this one in there. It's immense. Really want this one. Now, another one that I really like, and this maybe was the most popular. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if it wasn't the most, it was in the top 3. The SIG MCX Spear. Now, we'd mentioned the Virtus before, that also got mentioned, but the Spear is gorgeous, and the Spear is part of the Next Generation Squad Weapon Rifle Program. That's being developed by the American division of Sig Sauer International, and it is funded by the US Army. Now, its ultimate goal is to improve lethality, capable of beating modern body armor over, and also improving the range with a new 6.8 caliber bullet. Now, this is not actually into production as yet. It goes down to like a kind of competition in terms of bidding, and the winner of the contract is going to make this weapon is going to be announced in 2022. But if you think about it, and you think about where Breakpoint is, it would kind of fit that, you know, this gun either got made or a prototype's available somewhere, or they've got hold of a prototype. You could easily fit that in. It wouldn't be a problem. But this gun's a really, really nice one. So good choices there. So this next one is one that was also very, very popular for obvious reasons. The Glock 17, 18 or 19. Now, obviously, the 17, 18 and 19 slightly different in terms of what they do, but not a lot. Now, it is unlikely to ever appear in the game as a Glock. Most people will know because Glock don't like giving out their licensing. They don't like any of their name products in video games. But you could get round that. Other games have got round it by calling it something slightly different and basically having it look the same. So they could kind of put it in there, really, and just name it something else. So obviously, yeah, the 17, 18, 19 came up a lot, especially the semi-automatic variations, which is the 18 and 19. So they are basically a very reliable set of pistols, and of course machine pistols, that came onto the world market back in 1982. Made by the Austrian weapon producer Glock GmbH. And the Glock 17C is the standard 5th generation pistol used pretty much currently by a lot of law enforcement and military units around the world right now. So there's the first 5, and let's hit now to the next lot. Now, this one came up a lot, another Wildlands weapon, the SR25. So the SR25 is a DMR manufactured by Knight's Armament Company. Now, there are some people have said to me before that there's a weapon very similar, or a couple of weapons that are similar. But yes, it has been replaced since, but the SR25 is still its own separate weapon. Lots of people want it in there. So yeah, it makes sense. Put it in there. It was designed by the legendary Eugene Stoner, and it was in service from 1990 to 2017. And it is a gas-operated bolt action, and I imagine, as it should be, it will be put in the designated marksman rifle category. Now, this next one is another Wildlands favourite. I think it was a purchasable weapon. It wasn't available in the game itself. It was from the store or the crates or whatever. It came up a lot in the comments. Once again, a couple of people have said there's something similar already in Breakpoint, but this gun is not actually in Breakpoint as it is, which is the LVOAC. I can see why they want it. It is, for me, one of the best looking rifles in the world. It's beautiful. I know some people might say, well, there's a lot of M4, based weapons that are being brought up here for the assault rifles, but I'm just going by what people are asking for. It's what people want, which is cool. So yeah, it's a gorgeous weapon though. It's based on the AR-15 as such, though it is actually an M4 variant, and it's made by Warsport Industries in America. It is a designated close quarter combat weapon that features a priority barrel shroud with an integrated muzzle brake, and flash suppressor. And it's a civilian 5.56 weapon. It's not actually used by the military right now. Next one, the M24, the M24. The M24 SWS, in fact, or Sniper Weapon System, is the military and police version of the Remington Model 700 rifle. It has been the standard sniper rifle used in American military since 1988, and it's calibered at 7.62, and it's called a weapon system because obviously it can detach multiple accessories. And of course, this is another classic from Wildlands that people would love to see in Breakpoint. There's a lot of Wildlands guns there that people are really wanting. Now, this next one is, this was probably asked for the most. I am going to put this in at number 1 as such. This was asked for over and over again. And it is the Mark 18. Now, the Mark 18 is basically in the game right now as the M4A1 CQC. It's basically the same weapon. But most people are specifically, and I totally understand why, that they want the Daniel Defense version of the Mark 18. And that to me makes complete sense. You know, the Mark 18 obviously features the railed forend that Daniel Defense provides to US SOCOM. It's got a 10.3 hammer forged barrel with the patented bolt-up attachment system. It's a 5.56. And obviously it is another weapon that was a purchasable weapon in Wildlands. And I think when people got hold of that one, they did tend to use that a hell of a lot. A lot of people, I think, when they could buy weapons, especially assault rifles, moved over to the Mark 18 or the LVOAC. Now we're on to now the last one before we then just kind of go through all the rest. And this one's is quite a favourite of mine, to be honest, and it's an interesting one, and it kind of covers 3 different weapons as such. It is the L119A1, but you could also have the A2, the SFIW. Now, this is the go-to weapon for most of the UK Special Forces, not all, but quite a lot of them. The SFIW, or Special Forces Individual Weapon, is a carbine. It is Canadian made, originally by Diamico, which is now called, of course, Colt Canada. Now, the British have had this since the late 90s, and it is actually based very closely on the Diamico C8. Now, the C8 has been asked for quite a lot in the comments, and so I'm kind of including the C8 within this because it's very, very similar. Though it isn't the same weapon as such. And also the C7 was asked for a lot as well, but once again the C8 was just an improved version of the C7, so that's kind of included as well. But yeah, all 3 of those, really, they could give you all 3, or if they gave us one of them, that would be something. It's a 5.56 caliber weapon, and it would actually be nice to have Gunsmith be able to change between the 15.7 inch barrel version or the shorter 10 inch compact version. So there you go. There's the 10 guns that we basically went through and were asked for the most. There's loads of other weapons for us to go through, so we're going to go through those right now. Okay, here we go. So the AN94, this was asked for loads and loads of times in the comments, as was the Scar L, specifically the Scar L, not so much any of the others, because obviously we've already got something similar in the game. The T36, the C20, the DMR of the C20, the C14 Timberwolf, that's a really nice weapon. And as I mentioned earlier, the SIG MCX Virtus, we obviously covered the Spear, but another really nice gun. I don't know whether we'd get lots of variants or not, but you know, something along the lines of that would be nice. The AKS 74U, that did come up quite a lot. Didn't make the top 10, but it did come up quite a lot. The Vits and the VSK, the Mosin Nagant came up a few times. Quite a few people wanting that. The Galil just outside, and the Galil Ace specifically, just outside the kind of top 10, but lots of people liking that one. We saw some AN91s, AN94s. We actually had a couple of people asking for a flamethrower, not a specific make or anything like that, and that could actually be quite fun. I'd be up for a flamethrower, not necessarily maybe before other weapons, but it could be fun. The STK Ultimax Mark 8, that came up a few times, and we had quite a few variants. This specifically, the Colt Car 15 from like the 80s era, that came up quite a few times. The QBZ 95 or the QBZ 92, they came up quite a bit. The TAC Macmillan CS5 came up. The CEMG 7.62 Bashi came up. Now there's another one. Now this this was probably a number 11 if we'd have gone further. The MP5 SD6, because we don't actually have a proper MP5 SD in the game, so that would have been really nice, and I would really be up for that if they put one of those in the game. The SIG MCX Rattler came up, like I said, another MCX kind of variant. The TAC Macmillan 338, that's a beautiful weapon as well, that would fit nicely. Miniguns, quite a few people asking for miniguns. To be honest, rather than put the minigun in as a blueprint, I would prefer if you could take the minigun off of the heavies, so you only have those rounds available, and when they run out they're gone, and then you've got to kill another one and take theirs. I'd prefer it to work like that, but I'm up for it. I just think if you had a blueprint and you can just keep getting ammo and refilling your ammo, you'd just be like a one-man army, but having it sparingly every now and again could be quite fun. The Barrett MRAD 338, that's another nice weapon. The Accuracy International, obviously 338. The P416 Patriot Ordnance. The Asphalt, that was another one. The Asphalt ACR, that would probably be that's in the top 20 in terms of the comments that we got. Came up a lot. The Knights Armament SR47, that probably would have also been in the top 20 as well. We had an MG42 because people just want to kill people fast. So I can see why they'd want that in there, 100%. The Ultimax 100 came up surprisingly more than I thought it would. The LAR Grizzly, the OSV 96, the Kalashnikov SV18, that popped up a few times. The good old Walther PP9, yeah, that popped up quite a few times actually. Be nice to see that. Be nice to see that in the game. The PPK, and you know, we had a few people chucking in some World War II guns and things like that. Probably get to a few more of them as I go down the list, but they want the Thompson SMG. I know some people will be dead against it, but you know, there's some World War II kind of sites and Cold War sites around that you could fit that in if you really wanted to. Now here's another one just outside the top 10. The Salient Arms AR-15 GRY, can be seen in the film the Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. That's a great film if you haven't seen it. Yeah, that one came up a lot, and it's a really nice looking weapon actually. The AR-15 platform is a nice platform, and there's some nice variants and different makes based on that platform. The Negev LMG, that came up a few times. The AK Alpha, the Barrett Rec 10, that came up multiple times. The SIG MG 338, and also the KAC PDW, the LWL Ace, and even though I mentioned this earlier, I've kept it slightly separately because I mentioned the Mark 13 Mod 5, but I did mention that there was another mod as well, but people want the Mod 7. The AN94 PAMAS, the G36K, because obviously we have a C, so people would like to see that. The classic British GPMG, the K11 OICW, the MP53, the SBR, the M27 IAR. And here's another one. A lot of some of the people who served in the British military or were ex-British military have said, come on, give us a proper, we want an L85A3. That would have probably just sneaked into the top 20 with the kind of amount of people asking for it, because Breakpoint has made a bit of a mess in terms of some of those British assault rifles being mislabeled. But there we go. The L7A2, the STK BR18, the Pindad SS2, the Raiden MSBS, the Robinson Arms XCR, that's a nice weapon, the Hoa Type 89, another Wildlands classic here, the Desert Tech MDR. That was a popular weapon in Wildlands. A lot of people would want to see that one come over. The SCIS shotgun, the M21, the L96. And here's another classic. This one came up a lot, the Car 98K. That came up surprisingly a lot, actually. And this next one fits very well in with the video that we just put up about the Lara Croft thing. A lot of people asking for a crossbow. I don't think we'll get a crossbow with the Lara Croft thing. I think it's going to probably end up being a bow and arrow or something if it's a weapon. But the Deimos from Wildlands, people would like to see that come back. The AK-107, there's not enough, probably I would say, Russian weapons in the game. Lots of people wanting Russian weapons, and a whole plethora of different Russian weapons as well. The MP9, yeah, how can you forget that one? That's a great little weapon. The RSASS, the VSS Vintorez, the ADAR 215, the SA58, the Canik TP9 SA, or the SF, or the DA or Elite versions of the Canik. The 1911 Black Ops. Now this one also just outside, probably would have finished about 15 or 16 if we'd have ordered them past 10. This came up a lot. This would be a nice one, nice pistol to have in the game. We've got the RM277, the MG6, the MSR 338, and once again some more World War II weapons popped up. The M1 Garand, the M3 Grease Gun, the M1 Carbine, the M191 BAR. I love the BAR. I mean, it is, I must admit, if I had to choose one World War II weapon to have in the game, I'd probably pick that, because it just, I love the sound of it. We've got the Staccato XL, the G11, the AK-5C, that popped up a few times, the Groza ASR, this one came up a few times, the Walther WA200 sniper rifle. Saw that one pop up quite a bit. And here's another one that popped up a few times, the Javelin. You know, why not have a Javelin in the game? I think we've mentioned it previously on a video before, but the Javelin would be a nice add. The Mark 11, the RPK, a 1911 platform based, like a 2011 platform 1911 would be nice. That was asked for quite a lot. The Jati-Matic, the Beretta MX4 Storm, that's a really nice gun. That would fit well. I like using that in Rainbow Six Siege. The Browning High Power, another one that probably would have maybe squeaked into the top 20 or top 25. That came up a few times, as did this one, the Beowulf 50 cal. The M13, the RPK 74, along with the good old Mossberg 590, and going back to the 1911, the Tactical 1911, the Remington Operator, and the Kimber Desert Warrior. And some people would like a good old RPG-7 in there, so be fun. I believe we had RPGs, unless I'm going completely mad, we had RPGs in Wildlands. Did we? Oh my god, I can't remember. Of course we did. Oh, I've had a headache all day, so apologies if I'm going mad. Just tell me in the comments if I'm being an idiot. So yeah, but an interesting one if not. The Bulldog shotgun, the WA2000, that's a really nice choice. The QBZ 191. People asking for a railgun. You know, it would fit into Breakpoint. Be an interesting one. Some people might say, well, it's a bit like the kind of Terminator MK14, but that's not really a railgun. But you know, it could be interesting. The M21, the M17 pistol, the HKP7, the Ruger P90 or the 95, both of those came up. The Lady Killer, the BF FM63, and we had a few comments asking for some old classics like the Scorpion SMG. That was in Wildlands, of course. The Smith & Wesson M&P 40, the the MX8, sorry, not the XM8. That was featured in the original video. The Makarov PB, that came up a few times actually. The Makarov, the Calico M100 or Calico M100, the Phoenix Eliza or the Cindy version, the HK AG36 launcher, the newer version of the G36, the KA4, the Silent Revolver hand cannon. That's a fun one. I'd like that. The IMI Jericho, the KBP PP2000, the Calico M960, the HK 45T, along. Oh, here's a nice one. The Sacco TRG22. The CZ SA58 along with the CZ P10C. Another one that came up a lot, the Tokarev and the Beretta 93. Both of those came up a lot. The Tech 9 Modern. This one going back to the British Army again, the SA80A3. They need to get those British assault rifles correct because they're currently not. The M24 Sniper. The Nornico CF98, the Spas 15, that was in Wildlands, more Wildlands weapons, the UTS 15, the HP 9mm Savage, and the M320, which we did cover in a video, but the standalone version of it. Also the Chiappa Rhino, the Mark 13 EGLM, a CS5, the Ashbury ASW 338LM, and last but not least, the XM29 grenade launcher. Thank you so much for everybody for commenting and giving us some feedback. You can imagine now if I'd gone into detail into all of those, you'd have probably been fast asleep by now. This video's already gone on for a long time. So once again, I will just say thank you for your feedback. If you'd like to join our Discord, join in on some of these discussions that we have, jump into chats with us, please feel free to do so. The link is on the front of the YouTube channel and in the description below. You guys are really, you guys mean the world to us, and girls. So thank you so much. Honestly, this channel is all about community, and we will continue to push that as we carry on down the line into year 2. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there, guys. We will see you on the next one. Take care.